Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of Community Board 5 for December 2024. The meeting is being live streamed. You can, and Zoom, I guess. If you don't want to be seen on video or heard, you may leave now because we don't control the cameras or what they record. So, to begin our meeting, would you please rise and salute the flag of our country, which is very appropriate since we just passed December 7th, which was a day in infamy. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. The first item of business tonight is a presentation by the New York City Taxi and Limousine Commission. Whoever is doing that presentation, step up to the mic and introduce yourself by name, rank, serial number, whatever.
Hello, it's David Renz. Yes, we signed in. All right, everyone. So again, it's David Renz from the Taxi and Limousine Commission. We're just going to give a brief presentation on kind of what the TLC does, as well as some of your rights as passengers. So the Taxi and Limousine Commission, New York City governmental agency founded in 1971. We are in charge of licensing and regulating the city's yellow taxis, green taxis, for-hire vehicles, commuter vans, and paratransit vehicles. You can go next. So now we're going to go over the type of vehicles that we regulate. So, of course, the first one, the iconic yellow taxi. They run off of medallions and can be identified by their 4-character code, usually a number, a letter, and followed by 2 other numbers. The taxi medallions, of course, can be legally street-hailed anywhere in the 5 boroughs and run on a standard metered rate. As you know, technology has evolved. There are several e-hail options. So kind of like Uber and Lyft, there are e-hail apps where you can get a yellow or green taxi if that is your preferred mode of transportation. It is an upfront binding fare that you know before you embark on your trip. You can go to the next one. Of course, there are also the green taxis, very similar to yellow taxis. They're runs on a standard metered rate, has the same e-hail options. The big difference with the green taxis is they primarily serve the outer boroughs. They are excluded from taking street hails in Manhattan, south of 96th Street on the east side and south of 110th Street on the west side. They also cannot pick up from the airports. And next we have the for-hire vehicles. These are the most common, especially in the outer boroughs too. They are the black cars easily identified by their TLC plates, beginning with a T, ending with a C. They represent either your local car companies, local livery bases, predominantly do Uber and Lyft trips now. We also do regulate commuter vans. They run on set routes that have to get approval before they can function. While there aren't too many commuter van active routes left, they still provide a viable option for Eastern Queens and other parts of the city that may be considered transit deserts and don't have the same adequate public transportation options. We can go to the next one. And now I guess I will turn it over to Dylan, who will go over your rights as a passenger, as well as how to file certain complaints.
All right. Thank you, David.
State your name and spell it out, please.
Sure. Yeah, Dylan, D-Y-L-A-N. Cepeda, C-E-P-E-D-A.
What's that? Repeat that?
C-E-P-E-D-A. Great. So thanks, David. We're just going to switch topics here a little bit. Now that you know the types of vehicles that we regulate, we're going to talk about your rights as passengers and some of the common complaints and issues that we get at TLC. So first, we'll talk about accessibility. Accessibility is a top priority at TLC. We want to make sure that everyone, regardless of their mobility, is able to use our services. So we have a program called Accessible Dispatch, where you can receive an accessible vehicle to your location, similar to Uber and Lyft. You can use the online portal, which is linked in our presentation. You could download the mobile app from the Apple or Google Store, or you can call the number on the screen or contact 311 and ask to be redirected to Accessible Dispatch. You can also get an accessible vehicle through any of the e-hail apps for yellow and green cabs that David mentioned in the earlier slides. And you can also request one from your FHV base, or if you're using Uber and Lyft, you can also scroll down in the options and you can select accessible vehicle. So once you request the ride, as passengers in each type of vehicle, you have a set of rights. So if you want to view the full set of passenger rights for each type of vehicle, the link is in our presentation, but I'm going to go over the most common that you'll find in all of them. One is not to be refused service based on a protected class, and we'll go over that a little bit more in the next slide. You should be driven by a TLC licensed driver. We license the drivers as well as the vehicles. You should have a driver who follows all the rules of the road, who has a clean vehicle and has working safety equipment. And if there's any issues with any of these, you can always report it to 311. Now, as I mentioned, here's the list of protected classes. So you can be refused service based on any of the categories in the first bullet point. And if you are, or if you have any issues that violate your passenger bill of rights, you can report it to 311 online, over the phone, or through the app. And what happens is that complaint gets routed straight to our prosecution department, and an attorney will review your complaint. They may contact you for additional information, and they may generate a summons. And if the driver contests the summons, there'll be a hearing which you can attend over the phone. And there is a limited amount of reasons why a driver could refuse you legally, but if you're ever concerned or don't know if it was an illegal service refusal, just report to 311 and we will sort that out. So now we'll talk about some of the common issues that we constantly get at TLC from passengers. So one is lost property. So if you ever lose anything in a yellow or green taxi, you can contact 311 and they'll put you in touch with someone at our licensing unit, who will get in contact with the driver and try to locate your property. And that's only for yellow cabs and green cabs. If you lose an item in a for-hire vehicle from a local base or in Uber or Lyft, you have to contact the company directly. But please try to provide as much information as possible, the date, the location, or if you have the receipt, all that information will be on the receipt as well, so we can try to contact the correct driver. Now, it's also possible the driver saw there was a lost item in their vehicle and dropped it off at one of the designated lost property precincts. So in Queens, that's the 107th precinct and the 115th precinct, but they may have also dropped it off at the location closest to their trip, wherever that trip may have taken place. And finally, we'll turn to overcharges. So for yellow taxis and green taxis, they do use the metered rate of fare, and there's a full list, an itemized list of the metered charges on our website that you can take a look at. But if you ever think you're overcharged, again, you can contact 311, and that complaint will go directly to our prosecution unit, and we'll review that complaint and the trip and all the relevant details. And another thing that people often ask us for is a duplicate of their receipt from a yellow or green taxi trip. You can get a copy of that by emailing our FOIL office, and the contact information is in the presentation. So there are more questions on a list of questions on our website. So if you want to take a look, there's commonly asked questions, but we're also here to answer any questions you may have today.
I did want to mention like a new TLC initiative that was passed recently this year. So yeah, I did briefly want to mention a new TLC initiative. The TLC, trying to make the environment better, to combat climate change. We're proud to announce the Green Rides Initiative. So essentially what this does is by 2030, of course, Uber and Lyft are one of the biggest providers of rides in the city now. So by 2030, they will be required to only service in vehicles that are wheelchair accessible or electric vehicles. And we're proud to announce that to try to, combat climate change and lower emissions in the city. And yeah, just if anybody has any questions, we are happy to answer them.
Anyone address the chair, please?
Vinny? Oh.
Who is it? Who is it? Stand up. Name, where you're from.
Melody Community Board 5. Are the green cabs or the yellow cabs both able to take you from Manhattan to want to leave their Manhattan borough?
That would be considered a service refusal, and we would strongly encourage you to report that. If you are trying to take a yellow taxi and they tell you we are not going to Queens, you should report that as a service refusal. They cannot discriminate based on your destination.
Anyone else? Thank you.
Thank you. Everyone have a great evening.
Okay. Next item of business is the public forum. We have two speakers, and they'll have 3 minutes. You're going to step up to the microphone, introduce yourself, and state what you're speaking about. First one is Paul Polizelski. Paul? Please.
Hello, Community Board 5. My name is Paul Pogozelski. I'm looking to represent District 30 and the upcoming election for City Council that Bob Holden's going to be, unfortunately, term limited on. Bob Holden's a great city councilman, and we're going to have a huge loss. I'm trying to come into this with a grassroots approach. I'm a regular guy. I do a lot of community service. I started my whole journey into civics, honestly, with the community board. My son over there, after the pandemic, they fell a little behind on reading and math. We started doing homeschool. This was one of the forums that we used in order to teach my children about civics and government. So I really appreciate the community board being there. From the community board, you guys are actually my whole pathway into this whole political service and civics. I'm now president of the Middle Village Property Owners. The Middle Village Property Owners has been around for 90 years. It was about to go under. It wasn't even an active charter with the IRS. I was able to get us back active, and we're currently a 501c4. Paul over there gave me a lot of ideas on how to make the organization better, and we're working hard on doing a lot of street cleanups with our local elected officials and with a lot of the kids from the neighborhood, from the Boy Scouts, roller hockey, which we run as well. You guys have been instrumental in helping me with the roller hockey league. You guys were behind me every step of the way. Guys like Mr. Fiedler, who actually made me earn my rights of passage and make sure that I was committed and willing to do all the work that needed to be done in the roller hockey league and the rink, and to take care of it and to make sure that everyone had access to it, as well as keeping it safe and secure and free of vandalism. We have now a place where we have young children congregating, and they're also being active in the community. They're all doing very well in school, and they're all supporting one another, and this is a tremendous thing. We had kids that were being bullied and having trouble in schools, and now have a group that are around them, and they're able to be successful in school, and their parents are forever thankful, which is one of the reasons why we're going to keep on this positivity movement going. Anytime I've been covered in the newspaper, sometimes I made the front page of the paper with the roller hockey league, and the story next to it is usually someone getting robbed, mugged, or hurt. And these are the types of things that are going on in the community, but I want to champion positive aspects that are going on in the community. There's a lot of people in this room that are volunteering their time, that are giving everything that they have to this community, and they really care about this community. The community means everything to me. I moved here from Massapequa in 2017. I had to sell my family. I'm moving from Long Island to the city, and this was the area that we chose and we fell in love with. I can never thank this community enough for embracing me and my family. Parks Committee meetings and people arguing over whether we're going to keep a whale on a on a handball court. So all these meetings I've went to, and I've learned so much, and I really appreciate everything. I understand I might be tight on time. Just the land use committee, before the city of Yes was a talking point for any politician in this neighborhood, you guys were the ones that were talking about it and fighting for our rights and making sure that we're okay with that the community is okay with it. Thank you for the time. I just want to thank everyone. Some of my initiatives real quick is I want to increase stewardship in the neighborhood for parks and tree plantings as well, but also street safety. There's a lot of other things. Thank you so much. I appreciate everything, guys, and God bless you all tonight.
Thank you. The next speaker is Duncan Ballantyne. Same thing, Duncan, introduce yourself, who you are, where you're from, and what your subject is.
Excellent. Thank you. Hi, everybody. My name is Duncan Ballantyne. I'm speaking on behalf of the organization Ridgewood Rides. I've been at a few of these community board meetings now, so thank you for having me. I'm a resident of Ridgewood and a member of Ridgewood Rides. We're a neighborhood cycling group with a focus on community bike rides and advocating for safer streets for cyclists and pedestrians in the neighborhood. And we wanted to share a couple quick announcements at the end of the year. First of all, we've been very pleased to see the implementation of the two-way bike lane on Cypress Avenue. So that's been a huge win, and we're so happy that that's taken place, and the community board was influential in making that happen. We're eagerly looking forward to updates about the finished process. There's a few parts that are still work in progress, and we're hoping to see the Jersey barriers installed to make it truly a protected bike lane and prevent vehicles from driving and parking in the bike lane, the new bike lane that exists on Cypress Avenue, as well as fixing the flooded conditions on Cypress Avenue. Next, just a couple of quick fun statistics to recap 2024 for the year of Ridgewood Rides. This year we held 45 group bicycle rides covering a total of 670 miles cumulatively, with an average attendance of 23 riders per group ride, and our largest group ride was 50 cyclists when we went out to the Queens County Farm. And then we also hosted 8 bike repair maintenance workshops for the community and 7 advocacy events in Ridgewood, where we were gathering input from the community on areas for safety improvements. So we've been working really hard to sort of stay in touch with the community and hear, from people what we want to work on next. We're really excited to continue community rides in 2025, continue advocating for safer streets for cyclists in Ridgewood and in Community Board 5 area. My last announcement is this Friday, December 13th, at 7 p.m., we're having our annual holiday mixer at Gottshear Hall. So please stop by, say hi, it's open to the public, and come on in and say hello. Thank you all, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year. Follow us on Instagram at Ridgewood Rides for more info and info on the rides, as well as ridgewoodrides.org. Thank you.
Thank you. John, you have the list of... Oh, I have a question. Name.
Bob Smelly again, Community Board 5. I want to ask you, you considered about safety with the bikes. When a car is riding, we're not used to, at least I'm not, and I'm trying to get used to it, is when we're making a right-hand turn. So we get over to the right a little, make sure a car doesn't get in between there so I don't hit a car making a right-hand turn. But when a bike comes in, it's very hard to see when you're making that right-hand turn. And what's worse, a lot of the people riding the bikes take advantage of going through the red light. Now you go through the red light and the light changes and I or anybody else makes that right-hand turn. That's a recipe for collision. And I don't want to get collided with a person on a bike. Your car is one thing. So do you advocate that that they stop at the red lights? I mean, you're talking, I just want to make sure.
Absolutely. Thank you for that comment.
Okay.
Safety is always our #1 priority. We don't have any riders go down on our community group rides. Our ride leaders stop at red lights, and we follow the rules of traffic. And yeah, of course, we also expect vehicles to yield to cyclists when appropriate, and yeah, stick to the bike lane. And we try to take advantage of that infrastructure where it exists, and we hope to see more of it so we can have safer conditions for cyclists and, you know, coexist with the vehicle traffic. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll go over who's here and who's not. I have Eric Buckowitz is not here. Michael Bick is not here. Maritza Komoda is not here. Ethan Chan is not here. Dory Filiola is not here. Maddie Gonzalez is not here. Christopher Herman is not here. Kathy Massey's not here. Charles Ober is not here. Charles, get over here and sign in. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. You know what you're supposed to do.
If it's not in front of me, I'm in trouble. All right, where's O?
Oh,
There you go.
thank you. Enriquez Rosa is not here. Lily Scarbino is not here. Barbara Toscano is not here. Mariana Zero is not here. Is that correct? Okay, so that's that. You have your minutes. What's your position on the minutes? Well, who is it? State your name and who? Walter Clayton. Motion to accept. Who? Name. Okay. All in favor? Aye. Any objections? Okay. Thank you, John, for screwing me up with that. Okay. We'll do a review of current licenses for the sale of alcoholic beverages and building notices. John Meyer, please. Thank you.
Reading into the minutes for this, liquor, wine, and beer license applications and renewals. We had no new liquor license renewals, no new liquor license applications for either full liquor or wine, beer, and cider. All we had were renewals and other announcements. So starting off with liquor license renewals, Julia's Beer and Wine Bar LLC at 818 Woodward Avenue in Ridgewood, which is a restaurant. Serrano Pub LLC, doing business as Bukowski's at 6947 Grand Avenue in Maspeth. That's a bar and tavern. Seneca Fiesta Corp., 603 Seneca Avenue, Ridgewood, New York. It's a restaurant, but they're also applying for a New Year's Eve permit. Jungo Road LLC, doing business as The Deep End at 1080 Wyckoff Avenue in Ridgewood, bar and tavern. Maspeth Patrizia LLC, doing business as Patrizia's at 6935 Grand Avenue, Maspeth. That's a restaurant. Fontana Pizzeria, Inc., doing business as Fontana Pizzeria at 6526 Metro in Middle Village. That's a restaurant. Seafood Boil, Inc., doing business as the Crab Shack Seafood Boil at 5525 Myrtle Avenue in Ridgewood. That's a restaurant. Wine, beer, and cider renewals. Cafe Restaurant El Park, Inc., at 758 Woodward in Ridgewood. That's a restaurant. CBC Pizza Corp., doing business as Glendale Pizza at 6827 Myrtle Avenue in Glendale. That's a restaurant. And then we have 5 additional New Year's Eve notifications. They're going to be applying for an all-night permit. Bermeo Food Corp., doing business as El Manaba Restaurant, 341 St. Nicholas Avenue, Ridgewood. These are all full liquors, by the way. Wyckoff Warefield Corp., doing business as Trans Pecos at 915 Wyckoff Avenue in Ridgewood, Bar and Tavern. The Maspeth Pizza House, Inc., doing business as Fonda La Casentida, 5560 60th Street, Maspeth. That's a restaurant. Seneca Bar Corp. at 681 Seneca Avenue in Ridgewood. That's a bar and tavern. And Column Cosella Group, LLC, doing business as Pan at 1563 Decatur Street in Ridgewood, and that's a restaurant. If you have any issues with these, you can mention them to the chair now or call the office.
Yes, who's there? Can't hear you.
Marion Latanzio of Maspeth. Just one quick question. The New Year's Eve permits, what time are they allowed to stay open till?
All night. All night.
Till 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning?
It's in there.
8 a.m. yeah.
8 a.m. They have to close 4 hours in any 24-hour period. That's the law. So that's what they're doing, okay? Thank you.
Oh,
John, the location at 341 St. Nicholas Avenue,
that's a problem location.
that is certainly a problem location. There have been violent activity at times there. They were using a portion of the property without a permit, right?
Yep.
And if no one has any objection, I intend to write to the State Liquor Authority tomorrow, and hopefully they will pay attention with regard to not giving them that all-night permit. Another place that's been a problem, but not nearly, I don't think, as bad as that, is 681 Seneca. So we're looking for a reply from the precinct as far as what the conditions at that place have been. But those are 2 that stand out.
Thank you, Gary. Who's that? Speak up.
I have a question for
No,
Gary.
you don't have a question till you introduce yourself and where you're from.
Paul Kersner from Ridgewood.
What's your question, Paul?
The question is with Woodward Avenue, isn't this a recurring problem location?
Which location, Paul?
The Woodward Avenue.
No, the 2 problem properties, one of them is 341 St. Nicholas, and the other one is 681 Seneca. The problem locations that we've had on Woodward were party places and not bars.
Oh, okay.
And that has simmered down. And I have to tell you this, and I probably said it before. We have always been very vigilant at getting after problem locations that serve alcohol without being vigilantes, so to speak. And we don't have many problem bars. And I think that our efforts as a community board are a big reason for that. And we've gotten places closed down that deserve to be closed down. And we will continue to do so. Because people walk out of the bar drunk, they can get mugged, they can get in a vehicle, run somebody over. Somebody can run them over when they're drunk. You know, they get into fights, they hit each other over the head with whatever, so we can't have that. And thank goodness, even with all the new bars that we've had, we haven't had the amount of problems that one might expect with so many new establishments. So people are generally respectful. We got to keep after the ones that aren't. Any objection to me writing to the Liquor Authority with regard to 341?
You're directed to do so.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else, John?
do you want me to do building demolition construction notices?
Please.
We've received no demolition notices for all 4 communities in the board. We did receive 1 construction notice, and that was at 5916 57th Drive in Maspeth. So if anybody has any issues or is nearby and seeing interesting things going on with the construction process, let us know. Other than that, that's it.
Thank you, John. Those who don't know, John is our community associate, and Gary is our district manager. Okay? So we'll look at elected officials or dignitaries. There is no one from Mayor Adams' office, correct? No one from the New York City Comptroller's office. No one from the New York City Public Advocate office. From the Queensborough President's office, we have Claire Collins. Please.
Hi, my name's Claire Collins from Donovan Richards' office, Queensborough President Donovan Richards' office. So the community board applications are going to open on January 7th. So if you have to reapply, make sure you do. If you're watching this online and you want to join your community board, January 7th. Yeah, you can follow up with our office when we make the formal announcement and launch the application link. So there's no link yet, but yeah. And then we're having a coat drive. We're collecting new or gently used jackets, scarves, gloves, hats, thermals, and new socks. The drop-off location is Queensborough Hall lobby, and you can also drop them off at the office of Assemblymember Jessica Gonzalez Rojas or Assemblymember Catalina Cruz. I can give you their addresses if you would prefer to drop it off over there, and they can be dropped off Monday through Friday from 10 to 5. On December 30th, we're going to have our Kwanzaa celebration, which is co-sponsored by the African American Heritage Committee, and that's going to be at Queensborough Hall. And then looking further ahead, on Wednesday, January 15th from 6 to 8 p.m., we're going to be partnering with New York City Parks to host a Vital Parks for All forum. The New York City Parks Commissioner, Sue Donahue, and BP Richards will be there. It's going to be a public forum on how we can equitably strengthen our city's health, environment, and communities through our borough's park system. And for this event, you have to RSVP by emailing rsvp@parks.nyc.gov. Did I say that too fast? Oh, no? Okay. Our location is Queensborough Hall.
Please. Don't interrupt the speaker.
Queensborough Hall, 120 120-55 Queens Boulevard. It's also the courthouse. And then, oh, yeah, and then they want me to say that the holiday season can be a tough time, so if you need to seek help, the mental health hotline is 988, which is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's all I have. Thank you. Happy holidays.
Thank you. Representative, please, who are you? Where are you from? What do you want?
Thank you, Chair. Quick question for the January 15th.
Question to Chair.
Yes, Chair, for the time of the January 15th meeting at Queensborough Hall, what time will that be taking place?
Could you answer that, please?
Sorry, I didn't know that question was for me. It's 6 to 8 p.m.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Any more questions? Okay, I'm going to sit down again. All right.
Representing the Queens District Attorney is Kate Bohm.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you. Earlier this month, DA Katz announced that a man was sentenced to 39 years to life in prison for shooting NYPD Detective Brett Bowler. The rookie officer and his partner, Officer Anthony Rock, were on routine patrol in the Jamaica Business District in April 2023 when they confronted Spraggins after he assaulted a passenger on an MTA bus. DA Katz said, "All of this started because of a seat on a bus. A police officer has spent over a year with surgeries and physical therapy recovering from getting shot, and only by a twist of fate was not killed. Devin Spraggins used an illegal firearm and shot police officer Brett Bowler. With the officer on the ground, this defendant did not attempt escape. Instead, he aimed that gun and pulled the trigger again. This would have been a cold-blooded execution if not for the magazine dropping from the gun as Spraggins ran from the police. A jury has spoken, and this defendant has now been sentenced to prison. Thank you all for your time, and I hope you have a happy holiday season.
Thank you. Representing Congresswoman Velazquez is Jonathan Betancourt.
Good evening, good evening. Jonathan Betancourt representing Congresswoman Nydia Velazquez. I'll keep it short and brief. I know I usually tend to go past the time, but I'll keep it short and brief. We have a congressional career fair in partnership with Congressman Hakeem Jeffries, Congresswoman Yvette Clarke, and Congressman Dan Goldman. It's coming up Friday, December 20th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at City Tech, which is 300 J Street. We urge everyone all across our district. It's going to be a great opportunity. Bring your resumes. No need to RSVP, but we do urge you to RSVP, but no need. Fortune 500 companies, different federal agencies, the private sector, public sector. It's going to be a great opportunity for someone looking for a career and a job. So yes, again, Friday, December 20th, 2024, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at City Tech, 300 J Street. That being said, our office phone number is 718-599-3658. Happy holidays. We'll see you all in 2025. Thank you.
Thank you. No one here for Representative Grace Meng. Representing Councilmember Holden is Phil Wong. Okay, sorry we disturbed him. No one representing Councilmember Arreola. Representing Councilmember Gutierrez is Kimberly Vega.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Kimberly Vega. I recently joined Councilmember Gutierrez's team as her community organizer, so I will be looking forward to being here more often. For our announcements, we have our office is hosting CORE for housing clinics, so if you know anyone who needs to speak to a housing attorney, they can contact our office to schedule an appointment. Anyone interested in applying for affordable housing can stop by our office on Thursdays from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And we're also hosting a coat drive from December 1st to January 6th. And donations can be dropped off at Riseboro at 85 Melrose Street and at our office at 244 Union Ave. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Representing State Senator Dabo is John D'Angelo.
Good evening, everybody. Again, John D'Angelo from State Senator Dabo's office. The senator regrets that he couldn't be here this evening, but likes to extend warm holiday greetings, good cheer and health to everybody here. It's the end of the year. Basically, we just finished one drive for the solution to hunger. That's where everything went. We're still participating in a coat drive for Partners with New York, or CARE. There we go, Partners with New York Cares. And then the only other piece of information I have is the senator is having a holiday concert Tuesday, not a holiday concert, holiday party. Tuesday, December 17th from 3 to 6 in the district office. It's 8416 Jamaica Avenue, Woodhaven. I know the time is not the greatest, but whoever can make it, we'd love to see you there. Okay? Have a good holiday and New Year.
Thank you. No one representing Senator Gianaris. Representing State Senator Salazar is Maria Valdez.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Maria Valdez from the Office of Senator Julia Salazar. No major updates, but Senator sends her greetings and wishing you all the best for 2025. And don't hesitate to call our office at 718-573-1726. Thank you.
Thank you. No one representing Assemblyman Hevesy. Representing Assemblymember Raga is Dolma Lama.
Hi, everybody. Hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I know it feels so far out, but I hope everybody's also ready for holiday season. There are a few updates on my end. We had a successful turkey giveaway. We recently did a college readiness that was for young students, and there were several young students that participated, and the focus was on scholarship navigation. So that was a really good session that we had recently this month. What's coming up is we're having a sock and toy drive, and we're collecting it until December 16th next week. We haven't been able to successfully collect a lot, so if you can, please drop by our office at 5519 69th Street. We're really looking, and we're giving it to the Solution to Hunger as well. We're only taking gently and newly used sock and toys, so please, if you can, please drop by. What's coming up is also a holiday party and toy giveaway that our office is hosting at St. James Church in Elmhurst. So that's going to be this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. So if you have free time, come with us and celebrate the holiday season. And there's also several organizations that will be tabling, several health partners and community organizations to give out the resources and also the party. Lastly, we have Know Your Rights sessions on government benefits on December 18th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. If you would like to RSVP, please call us at 718-651-3185. I repeat, it is 718-651-3185. Thank you, and I hope everyone has a wonderful holiday season, and thank you for supporting us throughout the first two terms, and looking forward to 2025 with you all. Thank you.
Thank you. No one representing Assemblyperson Ardea. Representing Assemblyperson Jennifer Rajkumar is Anna Sargent.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Anna Sargent, the Chief of Staff to Assemblywoman Jennifer Rajkumar. In the spirit of Thanksgiving, I would like to first thank everyone for their hard work this year. And in the spirit of New Year's, I would like to thank everyone for their hard work next year. In regards to Thanksgiving, we did do two separate bird giveaways. We did a giveaway at our office where we distributed 300 turkeys, and then a few days later in Jamaica we did a distribution of halal chicken. We gave away in total over 400 birds with both events, which I'm thankful we were able to help so many people. In regards to the winter holiday season, we are currently doing a warm clothing drive. We're coordinating with the Ronald McDonald House. We're collecting through the 18th. We have the option of extending it. We are collecting at our office, 8391 Woodhaven Boulevard. We are open 9 to 5. And that's really it. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. We have no one representing Assemblyperson Cruz. We have newly elected Assemblywoman Clara Valdez. Are you here? I have to put her on a list.
Yes. Hi, everyone. I don't have any fun updates for you besides I'm the new representative for Assembly District 37, and so I'm really excited to be working with you all. Our office is getting up and running right now. Once I have our official contact information, I'd be happy to share that with you so you can stay in touch. And we'll make sure that we have representatives of these meetings going forward. I would love to sit down with some of you to get to know more about what you're all working on, so you can collaborate better in the next 2 years of our term. Our office will be located in Sunnyside, but I myself am a Ridgewood resident, so I'm down the street, just down Fresh Pond. Yeah, wishing you all the best for the holidays. I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. We'll have a beautiful Christmas and New Year, and I think we have a lot to work on together, and I look forward to building on all the things that you've been working on as Community Board 5 in the past many years. And yeah, very happy to be here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We have no one representing the 104th Precinct. Is there anyone I failed to recognize? Anyone have anything for myself, the chair? If not, on behalf of myself and the staff, I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, a good Kwanzaa, and if I missed anything, it must be in the South Pacific. Okay. Next order of business is our district manager's report. Carried to it now.
Thank you. A couple of thank yous. First to the elected officials, so many of whom are doing a lot of good in the neighborhood, but especially for those that don't have. So trying to provide meals and clothing drives and shoe and sock drives and all of that. So I thank you all for that. Claire, congratulations. And is your office going to be in the state office building? Okay. All right. I thank you. I want to thank Don Passantino for giving us sound every month. He's done a wonderful job with that for years. And Claire, I owe you a thank you for getting that all together for Paul Kersner for his 50-plus years of community service. I think we had a good end of the year in Board 5 in certain ways. We got a lot of roadways resurfaced. A lot of people still drive motor vehicles, right, Lee? And most recently, we got Wyckoff Avenue resurfaced. We wanted to get it reconstructed, and I think Eric or I said this. The Department of Transportation pulled Wyckoff Avenue south of Myrtle, from Myrtle to Cooper, out of the reconstruction project because of the contamination at the Wolf Outport site on Irving Avenue at Cooper Avenue. And the reason for that is that the reconstruction project is still in place for the Brooklyn portion, which is from Flushing Avenue to Myrtle, because they consider that's not close enough to worry about it. But when they get, they're going to replace sewer lines, they're going to replace water mains, and the sewers are contaminated or known to be contaminated near the Wolf Outport site. So I'm pretty sure that's why they axed the project. But we're going to try to get the project back after a 5-year waiting period after the resurfacing. You're not supposed to touch a street for 5 years after the street is resurfaced. But like I say, since I've been here, I've always tried to pay a lot of attention to the Brooklyn border, and for us to get Wyckoff Avenue resurfaced to me is a big plus, so I thank DOT for that. We don't always agree with the Department of Transportation with regard to certain things, but I think generally they've done a lot of good, and I'm happy that Wyckoff is resurfaced. Of course, as soon as they milled the street, Con Ed was all over it. So Con Ed had work to do in Wyckoff Avenue. And another big plus, and Ken, I hope you can relate to this, is that we got all the catch basins uplifted, repaired along Cypress Hill Street from Cypress to Cooper. They were sunken, and it was getting increasingly dangerous because if you're riding a motor vehicle and you don't see it, you could go right into that catch basin pit, and so that's all been done. So hopefully, and young ladies here from State Senator Salazar's office. So I thank State Senator Salazar for her help with the Ridgewood Reservoir, because she obtained some state funding, and they're trying to work out what will be done with that funding. But if you haven't been to the Ridgewood Reservoir, go there. For me, you walk up the stairs or you go up the ramp, it's like being in the Catskills. So NYC H2O, headed by a guy named Matt Molina, has done an amazing job at the reservoir. There's an invasive species removal project there, but they've done a lot of the work in addition to the funded project. So he's got ways where they are smothering the invasive species with plastic and holding down the plastic and all that. So, and I want to thank Mr. Fiedler for all of his work, because with all of them put together, it's got wetland status, it has National Historic District status, and I don't think that anybody's ever going to try to fill in one of those basins like they've semi-threatened us, Paul, several times. But it's the closest place we have to a nature preserve anywhere near here. There are over 100 species of birdies that flock there in the springtime, and probably they're gone by now. But it is an absolutely gorgeous place. So I thank you for all the good you do in the neighborhood, and I wish you a happy Hanukkah, a Merry Christmas, a happy Kwanzaa, Dawn, if you're celebrating Festivus, and Happy New Year to you and your families and your loved ones. Joy and good health to all of you. Take good care.
Thank you, Mr. G. With that, we'll go to committee reports. Transportation and Public Services. Gary, you might as well do that.
I'm doing it.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. Yeah, Eric Buckowitz, who's here pretty much for every meeting and has done a very good job with the Transportation Committee, has written the report that I can, or a brief report that I can give. So the committee met November the 26th. The committee usually meets on a Tuesday toward the end of the month. In this case, it was the last Tuesday of the month. The next committee meeting is next Tuesday. So if any of you have items that you want the committee to review, call or email the board office by, 2 o'clock on Tuesday. Representatives from the New York City Department of Transportation attended to provide a briefing on the current repairs and plans for replacement of the Grand Street Bridge. Repairs are underway and are anticipated to be completed by the end of 2024. These repairs include a new steel bridge deck, and once completed, should eliminate the need for routine closures of the bridge. A new on-site generator will be installed to aid in the bridge operation ahead of the Environmental Protection Agency's cleanup work of Newtown Creek. A new replacement bridge is being planned that will be slightly wider than the, with ADA-compliant pedestrian walkways. As the creek is a navigable waterway right now, or considered a navigable waterway, a movable/lifting bridge design right now is what is being considered. The design report and environmental assessment are anticipated to be released in the second quarter of 2025. So that's going to be a preliminary design report. This release begins a one-year public involvement comment process. Construction on the new bridge is currently anticipated to begin in 2028 or 2029 and will take approximately 5 years to complete. The Department of Transportation anticipates that a combination of federal and city funding will be used to complete the project. The next Transportation Committee meeting is December 17th. The Department of Transportation is scheduled to attend the meeting and provide a presentation on planned street improvements to Grand Avenue, which the committee will be monitoring closely. And when they're talking about planned street improvements, I think what they're really talking about is how to speed up the Q58 and other buses on Grand Avenue. Because the Q58, I think John knows this way better than me, but it has like one of the top riderships in the city, right? Second in the city as far as number of riders per day goes. And that goes, from what I'll call Ridgewood Terminal, Wyckoff Avenue underneath the L to Flushing. And under the new Queens Bus Network redesign, they're going to try to even make it a more unlimited route for the non-local portion of the route. So Mary Ann, I see your face, and I think a lot of people are wondering about removal of parking. So DOT has gotten an earful from certain people already with regard to that. And I don't think they're very anxious to create a dedicated bus lane on Grand Avenue, but they have to see how to move that traffic along better than it is. As far as the Grand Street Bridge goes, it somehow is still holding up, but they are making repairs a lot of weekends, and I think this weekend it's going to be closed again for the great majority of the weekend, from like Friday night to early Monday morning. And like Eric wrote, they are replacing the deck of the bridge. That bridge, for if those of you, is our link to Williamsburg and Williamsburg's link to Maspeth, and it was constructed in 1903. And it is not wide enough to accept two large vehicles going in the opposite direction. So if you ever want to see, which doesn't happen too often, a great deal of courtesy at a heavy traffic location, that's one of them, where somebody stops, lets the other one go, now it's your turn to go. And I wish that the drivers were that cooperative for the rest of their driving tours, because there's too many lunatical drivers out there. And I'm talking in motor vehicles. People can talk about who's riding their bike, whatever way, but it's the motor vehicle that is killing the great majority of people that die. Yes, Michael, it is the motor vehicle that is the driver of the motor vehicle. And I asked Nicole Garcia, the Borough Commissioner of DOT, Borough Commissioner Nicole, what percentage of drivers stop at a stop sign before the crosswalk, right, on the side streets? And she kind of meekly said to me, maybe 25%. So the drivers got to get into the pedestrian crosswalk on a consistent basis. They won't even give the pedestrian the 4 feet width of the crosswalk. That needs to change. And we write a lot of traffic and pedestrian safety letters, and have been doing this for years, and we have essentially run out of intersections to control. So now people are pleading for speed bumps. And then on so many blocks, you can't have a speed bump because it's too close to the driveway. So we're consistently getting people telling us that on a residential street that drivers are flying down their street. And I think that's one of the improvements that need to be made societally. I mean, people have vehicles that weigh 2,500 pounds and up. You ever see a Cadillac Escalade or one of those Lincoln Navigators? Or now they have pickup trucks in the neighborhood, and yeah, it's pretty scary. So I thank you, and I wish you a Happy New Year.
Thank you. Do we have any other committees that I failed to recognize? No? Okay. Any old business? Any new business? Yes? Microphone, please.
Hi, Lee Rottenberg, Middle Village. There are juniper berries over at the table over there for anybody to take, and we're having a holiday party tomorrow at Our Lady of Hope, starting at 7:30. Everybody's welcome to attend. There's going to be free food and a raffle, and happy holidays to everybody.
Thank you. Any other old, new business? Any old business? Well, again, I want to thank all of you for a great year, very productive. I hope you enjoy your holidays, and I still like to tell you that this is the best community board, at least in Queens, if not the entire city. Thank you. Motion to adjourn? You got it? Got that? Thank you. All in favor?